Welcome, everyone, diving into the intriguing security space today. Third party vulnerabilities, or as some call it, the vendor shadow. That's like how our trusted partners can also become our biggest liabilities.
Yeah, right. It's almost ironic. You outsource services, but you can't really outsource accountability, correct?
Exactly, and the findings show that in 2025, over 50% of major breaches were traced back to third party integrations, like misconfigured access, exposed API tokens, and even unmanaged contractor privileges.
Wow, that's huge. And when we look at these examples, like the POS provider exposing an API token or the insurance claims processor's misconfigured S3 bucket, it really underlines that vulnerability.
Absolutely. It's like, building a house with a leaky roof. You might have solid walls, but one weak point can bring the entire structure down. And with vendor controls, oversight is often minimal.
Yeah. I gotta ask though, are these breaches purely due to mistakes, like misconfigurations, or is there something deeper in the vendor management process?
Well, it's both. Many times it's misalignment between the vendor's operations and your internal security standards, weak control measures, temporary access that becomes permanent, and a general lack of continuous monitoring.
Interesting point. But don't you think it's a bit harsh to say vendors are the prime culprits when sometimes it's the customer's own oversight in maintaining periodic reviews?
That's a fair critique, and I agree. It's truly a shared responsibility. However, the report highlights that organizations often treat vendors like procurement items instead of active attack surfaces that need constant vigilance.
Right. So then, what does the framework suggest? How should companies step up their vendor security game?
The approach is multi layered, starting with rigorous due diligence during vendor onboarding, continuous monitoring like quarterly risk reassessments, MFA enforcement, and even dark web scans for exposed credentials. It's about turning vendor management into a dynamic strategic risk domain rather than just checking boxes.
And look at that real case with the Rogue API token, a logistics company facing a breach worth 870 crore rupees because a tiny mapping vendor left its API keys out in the open. That's a stark reminder, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like having a secure vault with the key taped to the door. The takeaway here is that digital trust isn't confined to your internal network, it's built across every connection you make.
Yeah. And the control tests? They stress managing access logs, ensuring token rotation every 90 days, and validating credentials with not just PDFs, but with evidence. That's some rigorous work.
Right? And with vendor security dashboards like the vendor trust heat map and risk scorecards, it becomes easier for boards to ask who is monitoring our vendors monitoring us? It really elevates risk management to a board level conversation.
Overall, it sounds like the way forward is proactive, continuous, and holistic vendor management, not just ticking compliance boxes.
Exactly. It's about building digital trust by design in a world where outsourced risks are inherited risks. And that, folks, really is the vendor shadow looming large in today's cybersecurity landscape.
Right. Thanks for unpacking that. It's a wake up call for all organizations.
And remember, let's not let our vendors become our weak link. Keep those security checks tight and continuous.